Just a quick aside, since these little chats are primarily about sleep and dentistry, I think it's important that we recognise how significant what we are faced with as an opportunity to provide a service for is. And we have, as many know, many sleep disorders, and you've only got to look at the list to know that many of them are obscure, but many of them are not, and certainly in general, I say general knowledge, I mean the general public might not know that much about it, but they certainly recognise the names of the disorders. But the two biggies are insomnia and sleep disordered breathing, primarily obstructive sleep apnea, but I would add snoring because that's so common, and we won't get too much into it, but upper airway resistance syndrome, URS, is probably more common than we think. So I think it's reasonable to I was going to say ring fence, but stick those three under the sleep disordered breathing umbrella. So those two things are pretty much experienced by, we won't say the majority of people, but they're very, very common, and they're both things that we can do something about. We can screen patients against both, and although it's getting a little bit more acceptable now, I mean at one time you would screen patients for snoring and obstructive sleep apnea in a dental office, and people would look at you as if to say, well, what's that got to do with you? Well, now people have put two and two together, and they know that that we can provide a service in that area. But people don't know that we can provide a service in the area of insomnia. Now, there's a strong connection between insomnia and obstructive sleep apnea, which we needn't go into at this point in time. But the bottom line is we can screen patients for insomnia, and we can help patients with insomnia, even if we only give out lists of sleep hygiene. I was going to say techniques, but sleep hygiene tips. And you know, it's a bit like going to a dealership or something to have your car fixed. If they gave you having oil changed, if you're having your oil changed and they give you a sheet on how to look after your tyres, no one's going to get upset. People will think to themselves, well, they obviously care about me getting from A to B. They've changed my oil, but I mean, I do need wheels and tyres. They're not trying to sell me on wheels and tyres. They're just trying to make my experience with my car optimal. So I don't really see that as a big problem. I mean, how long would it take to say, how well do you sleep? Do you suffer from insomnia? And if somebody says, well, yeah, I don't sleep that well actually, and yes, I do suffer from insomnia, and we give them a sheet, or if we want to, we email them a list. So I mention that because they are hand in hand, but it's a good way in to be able to provide not only a service to enhance sleep or quality sleep, but also as a lead-in to help people understand that there is not only an association between sleep disordered breathing and insomnia, but they are linked in that it is part of achieving quality sleep, and it's something we can do. So just have a think about it, because I think it's worthy of thought. Don't let us as a profession give up on this one as well. It will be really frustrating to see that go the way of the dinosaur too. And trust me, there will be people out there that will see the benefits of this. Okay, they won't be able to make appliances, but they will be able to hire dentists to do it. So let's make no bones about that. Okay, so just something to think about. Thank you.